Well, I'm back. It's been about 6 months since my injury from this scaffolding fall. It's been a lot of physical therapy. It's been very slow going, and I'm not 100% yet, but went to the doctor yesterday and he gave me the okay to get back up here and get back to work. I think that's the only way I'm ever going to get back to 100% is actually getting back to the kind of physical activity that caused the injury, just hopefully a lot more carefully. Well, we left off at about the 1/4 of the way up the wall mark here on the siding, and the kudzu tried to take everything over again. I came out here a couple weeks back with the weed whacker with the brush cutting blade and cleaned everything up. I'm going to pull these vines off and then get to work. Hopefully, I'm not going to set any goals because I don't want to push myself and make another mistake. But we're going to try to get as much of this wall done as I can. Alright, well, I'd say we're over the halfway mark. Working on almost 2/3 of the way. I'm happy with the progress. I was slower, steadier, and a lot more deliberate with my movements to make sure that didn't have a repeat of the last time I was up on this scaffolding. So yeah, went well. I'm gonna stop now because we got a little bit of rain starting, and I'm a little tired. It's been a while since I've been out here, but I'll give you a look at what I've been working on while I couldn't work on this. Okay, we're on a hill overlooking the station, and this is the first project I was working on while I was injured. So when I moved on the property, this whole field was overgrown, about 8 feet high, and these fence lines looked like this. So this is a typical unmaintained fence line. As you can see, I'll give you a look at what I started to do. About 3 years ago, when I first started maintaining this front field, I chopped down all of the trees that I could. Oh, that's a cool old Ford, looked like a Model A. Anyway, so we got the bigger trees and bigger roots. You know, here's some tree stumps you can see trying to come back. So I got it to about this point and kind of left it. And I was like, well, let me, it's not on a ladder. Let me try to do something up here. So as you can see down there, I'll give you a better look at what we're able to get it to look like after me working on it. So I was able to get that pretty terrible looking fence line looking like this, which is, yeah, I mean, most people would replace it, but for me, my purposes, I think it looks a lot better than it did. It's a fence again, and another project that we took on, shouldn't say took it on, I actually subcontracted this out, was this front field had 7 trees in it, and I wanted to remove them for a project that we're going to be working on next year. I'll leave that a little bit of a secret, but a lot of extra firewood. I wanted the stumps gone. I will tell you that we are going to be planting something up here. So that's kind of exciting, since we kind of have a farm, but we really don't grow a lot. And it's not really a farm if you're not growing something. So anyway, more on that later. But I will give you a look at the other projects. We're at the workshop, and here is another project that I took on over the last 6 months. We kind of wanted to put a big, giant, you know, off-grid solar setup here. When we did the numbers, it just wasn't going to work for us. But an important thing was, if the power goes out, we wanted a backup. So we decided just to go small scale and built this little mobile trailer. It's just an old Harbor Freight trailer that I was able to cobble back together, and then built this frame actually out of scraps from underneath the cottage. Bought a couple of secondhand panels, and I got a generator inverter. I went with the Blue Eddy one. A lot of people use the EcoFlow. They're both really good, but yeah, so far we've had to use it, you know, a couple times here or there, but the panels work, the trailer works. I could even use this to bring power down to the cottage temporarily if I need to, completely off-grid. So we'll probably see that used in the future. So I heat my house in the winter primarily with wood. We have an electric heat pump. It's really inefficient for a large house, and if it drops below 40 degrees, that thing will run almost constantly. And with the way energy prices are, this was another priority, was more and more firewood. So I've always split all of my firewood with a maul on that stump right there. Half for the exercise, but then, you know, also buying more equipment when, you know, you have so many projects that need equipment. You know, a log splitter seemed like a unnecessary luxury at the time, but I took one swing with a maul about 3 months after my injury, and my shoulder said, yeah, you're not going to be splitting any wood for a while. So I went on Marketplace and looked for the absolute cheapest log splitter I could find, and actually found this is a 25-ton to MTD. And reason I was able to get it cheap was, of course, it was a project. The cylinder rod was bent, and I took pictures. I'll see if I can find any. If I find any, I'll include it in the video. But I did take some video of me repairing this thing, but I lost it. But suffice it to say, the rod was bent, looked like a smiley face. The exhaust fell off while I was transporting it. But so anybody who might have ran over that exhaust, I didn't realize it was gone until I got home. Sorry about that. But after 2 months of waiting for the hydraulics shop to rebuild the cylinder, they finally got it done, and it actually works really good. So although my shoulder, I probably could do some light splitting right now, with all that wood in that front field from removing those trees, this is the way to go. Anyway, so this gives you a couple of ideas of what I've been up to for the last 6 months. Okay, back to work. I'm not going to set any goals on how far to get today. It's how far I can get. Well, we're about 3/4 of the way done. Wanted to give everybody a view from how high it is up here. And I'm moving a lot more deliberately and a lot more slowly. And I'm not pushing myself too hard. I'm tired. I know it would be nice to get this done, but instead I am going to pack it in and come back another day. Thanks everybody for watching.